This is a fan-generated show. If you would like to support us, please go to JamieGlazov.com, and also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. All your support is greatly appreciated.
There's a new book that just came out. If you've been following our page, you know about it. It's called Jihadist Psychopath by Dr. Jamie Glazov. I will tell you, as an expert on Sharia, as a former child bride who has suffered and faced my own jihadi psychopath, I want you to go and order this book on Amazon.com or go to JamieGlazov.com. Get a copy for yourself. You know why? Because you need to be equipped with the knowledge to fight our enemies so you can save your daughters and your granddaughters from future of Islam. They don't have to face what I did. Go to Amazon.com and order your copy of Jihadist Psychopath by Dr. Jamie Glazov.
Good evening. Welcome to the Jamie Glazov Moment. Tonight, the Jihadist Psychopath's deceit. Quote, "We respect Jesus. We love Jesus." Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I'm centering in on the psychopath's "we are a lot alike" charade. Now, my friends, I've written a new book called Jihadist Psychopath. I think you've probably already heard about it by now if you've been watching my program. My book is about how the jihadist psychopath is charming, seducing, and devouring us. And in my book, I show how psychopaths have a step-by-step program by which they charm, seduce, and devour their victims. There's actually a structure. There's a design. They do certain step-by-step things. They charm, they seduce. Then once they got their claws in you, a devouring begins. And I show that the way that stealth jihad, violent jihad, institutional jihad, all the different forms that jihad takes is devouring us in exactly the same way. And so in my book, for instance, I show that, for instance, after the takeover, when the claws are in on several realms, that certain steps begin. For instance, the psychopath is an expert at punching his victim in the face, but then sulking and pouting afterwards, and the victim is apologizing to him. Okay, this is how psychopaths make their victims the perpetrators and themselves the victims. And I think that that might sound very familiar to you if you think about what Islamic supremacists are doing to the West today. Psychopaths engage in groundless accusations. They perform a lot of propaganda in front of a community. They never apologize. They never take accountability. They always play, as I said, the victim, and they also have a certain pity card that they play. They always pretend that they're unappreciated. They create a fake past, etc., etc., etc. I'm bringing all that up very quickly is a little bit of an appetizer for the book because it might have all seemed very eerily familiar, because everything psychopaths do in every stage is exactly what Islamic supremacism is doing to us. Tonight, I wanted to focus in on one of the steps. One of the steps during that whole charade that they engage in. And tonight, I'm going to focus in on "we are a lot alike." Okay, so this comes in the beginning. Later on, the playing the victim and the pity card, I'm unappreciated, all of that comes later. And in my book, in every step, I show what the psychopath does, and then I show the carbon copy of what Islamic supremacism is doing to us today. But today, I'm just narrowing in on the beginning. During the charming stage, during the seduction stage, there is something that begins with what the serpent did in the Garden of Eden, and psychopaths learn from their master. It begins with, "This is in your interest" stage. This is just before "we are a lot alike," or it could come simultaneously. But the psychopath is very good in saying, in trying to convince his prey, that what I'm advising you to do is in your interest. So when serpent was telling Eve, it's in your interest to bite this apple. It's in your interest. You will live forever. You will acquire all knowledge. You will become just like God, etc., etc., etc. But it leads to her downfall and to the downfall of humanity. Now, as we know, and as I show in my book, what stealth jihadists are doing to us today by telling us what to do that's supposedly in our interest, to circumscribe our free speech in certain ways, to allow Sharia law on many levels, to allow prayer spaces here and food laws and laws connected to food here, and to demonize these certain kinds of people who are trying to tell the truth and to call them certain names and certain things that we should start teaching our kids, etc., etc., etc. All the things that stealth jihadists are telling us because what we're supposed to do because it's in our interest to do it. And once we do it, everything will be peaceful and everything will be okay. And that's why we should surrender to Islamic blasphemy laws, because it's in our interest. And I wonder if Facebook and Twitter are listening very intently to the Islamic supremacists with whom they're trying to ingratiate themselves with. All of this is bleeding into all other sectors of society. And all of this is happening at the same time as during and with another tactic. And so the subject of my moment tonight, and I apologize if it took me a minute to get to it, the psychopath's tactic that comes in the beginning of the charming and seduction stage of, we are a lot alike. So during the charming stage, during or a little after the this is in your interest stage, the psychopath also says, and always emphasizes how we are a lot alike to the victim, to the prey at that stage, to the, the eventual victim. But the prey is often just dying to be deceived as well, just salivating to be deceived. Oh, we're a lot alike. We're a lot alike. And the psychopath is like, oh yes, we're so much alike. We're soulmates, and we like the same things. We're the same. This is, it's just this very, very electrifying, very, very exciting time. We are a lot alike. Now let me think about the jihadist psychopath's component and realm. We are a lot alike. Let me draw you a little picture. The salivating Christian dhimmi, just salivating at the Islamic supremacist while he's talking, just dying to be deceived and to delude himself or herself that this conflict will go away. Just dying to be deceived, and the Islamic supremacist comes in and says, we are a lot alike. You're Christians, we're Muslims, but we both love Jesus. We're so much alike. You love Jesus, we love Jesus. We respect Jesus. Look, Jesus is in our holy books. Jesus is in our Quran. We are so much alike. You love Jesus, we love Jesus. You respect Jesus, we respect Jesus. Oh, and the dhimmi Christians that want to be deceived are just in euphoria because now the conflict will go away. Now, people like me and many other people who are not afraid of the truth and to tell the truth will right away say to this particular individual or individuals, excuse me, did Jesus die on the cross for our salvation? Did he shed his blood on the cross for us so that we will gain and win eternal life? Is he a member of the Holy Trinity? Is he divine? Yeah, this Esau character that you have in the Quran, sorry, that's not Jesus Christ. So answer me once again. Is he divine? Is he a member of the Holy Trinity? Did he die on the cross? And all of a sudden, the jihadist psychopath turns ashen white and runs away or gets really angry and starts screaming at you. But these are their tactics, and they have to be confronted. You see, my friends, how evil works, it's never coming just blatantly at you. Evil comes with the truth, but just slightly blurred. And my friends, if there is a spiritual realm, and I believe in the spiritual realm, and if there is one, I wonder in whose interest it is to promote if we do believe in Jesus Christ, and I do, I'm a Christian, I wonder, in whose interest is it to promote the propaganda, to propagate that Jesus existed and that they love Jesus and respect Jesus, but Jesus did not die on the cross? I wonder in whose interest it is to spread that particular theme, if that is one word to call it. My friends, there's a very urgent, powerful need in many humans to be deceived when they are under siege. Kenneth Levin has documented this in the Oslo Syndrome, how many Israelis behaved under siege and how many of them deluded themselves because the facts of the Oslo Agreement and what it really was and what was happening was very blatantly staring them right in the face, but they had the Oslo Syndrome. It's connected to the Stockholm Syndrome. My friends, watch out for the people when you first meet them if they're emphasizing to you constantly how alike you are. And be aware of this particular theme that's being shoved in your face in your personal life, but also in our culture and terror war, when certain adversaries that come from totalitarian ideologies are constantly telling us very strange things, including when they approach us Christians, telling us how much they respect Jesus. You know, I have a hard time understanding even the word respect and love, because when you respect someone, when you love someone, you tell the truth about that person or that entity and who they were and what their whole purpose was and is and what they actually achieved and why they did what they did. My friends, in my book, Jihadist Psychopath, I document all of this. Tonight, I wanted to narrow in on that particular tactic during the charming stage. Get my book, Jihadist Psychopath. I think I've made some groundbreaking discoveries in some way and maybe added something to our knowledge of what we're up against. And I hope that in so doing, I have perhaps contributed to the potential of our ability to defend ourselves against this pernicious enemy. I'll also be speaking on February 6th at the Beverly Hills Hotel. If you're anywhere near Los Angeles, you've got to be there. And if you're far away, maybe you should fly in, because rumor has it, it's going to be an on-the-edge-of-your-seat thriller. February 6th at the Beverly Hills Hotel, I'll be talking exactly about what I just talked about. Go to jamieglazov.com to register for this event. Thank you for listening. Equip yourself and fight for our freedoms and our liberties. Do not have the impulse to be deceived, and do not deceive yourselves, because there are those that are gladly doing it for us. I'll see you on the next Jamie Glazov moment. Good night.